Now there will be a demonstration of Adam's clasp, and before starting the Adam's clasp you have to first mark the intercuspal distance on the model. So this is the intercuspal distance which will give you the width of the bridge of Adam's clasp, and then you have to divide the clinical crown into 3 equal thirds. Okay, this is the occlusal third, middle third and the gingival third. And when you extend these lines from mesial to distal points, you will get 2 triangular spaces here, which is the area where the arrowhead should be engaged. So after drawing all the lines on the buccal side of the tooth, now we'll start with the straightening of the wire. So the Adam's clasp will be fabricated with a 21 gauge wire. So before starting the wire bending process, first you have to straighten the wire. After grossly straightening the wire, you have to adapt the wire to check or to mark the mesodistal dimension of the bridge. So after transferring the markings onto the wire, hold the Adam's plier just beside the marking and give a 90-degree bend. Now you have to check whether the mesodistal width is exactly equal to the marking which we have made on the molar. Now mark the occlusogingival height of the bridge onto the wire. So this is the marking, and now what you have to do, with the help of the Adam's plier, hold just 0.5 to 1 mm side by the side of the marking, and then you have to give the arrowhead. You have to take care such that the marking should be on the top of the arrowhead so that the measurement will not be changed. Now with the help of the universal plier, we can hold the arrowhead and just try to narrow the arrowheads. So now after giving these bends, we have to once again check for the mesodistal dimension and occlusogingival height of the bridge, and if it is okay, then you have to proceed with the further bends. So the next step, you have to hold the, if you see, this is the distal aspect of the arrowhead and this is the mesial arm of the arrowhead which is closer to the bridge. Now hold the distal arm along with the tip of the arrowhead into the plier, and then try to bend this bridge such that it will make a 45 degrees to the arrowhead. So now if you can see from the bridge to the arrowhead, this arrowhead will be making a 45 degree angulation to the bridge. In a similar way, you have to give this 45 degree angulation on for the second arrowhead also. Now if you can see, the bridge and arrowheads are making 45 degrees to each other. After giving this 45-degree angulation, now what you have to do is, you take the proximal arm which is closer to the bridge and mark the center of this arm, and this marking should be transferred to the distal arm of the arrowhead. Similarly, you have to mark the same thing on this arrowhead also. Now with the help of the universal plier, hold the arrowhead just 1 mm or 0.5 mm beside the marking, and now you have to make a 90-degree bend, and make sure that this bend should be exactly the half of this mesial arm of the arrowhead. A similar bend is also made on the second arrowhead. Now you can see the distal arm is exactly bent at the half of the distance of the mesial arm on both the arrowheads. Now after this bend, what you have to do, pull this arm towards the midline. Similarly, it should be repeated on the other arrowhead also. Now we have to engage the arrowheads in the areas where we have provided a triangular area initially. So in this area, the arrowhead should be engaged properly, and check for the bridge angulation. Always the bridge angulation should be checked from the distal or mesial side, so that you can appreciate the 45-degree angulation over the bridge to the buccal side of the tooth. In our case, it is the molar. Now hold the arrowheads exactly, and now you have to give the occlusal bend. So you have to make a marking in the interdental areas with the help of a marker, and after marking it with the help of the Adam's plier, hold the wire and give the occlusal bend. Care should be taken so that there will be no deviations in the positions of the arrowhead. So taking the similar care, now continue the occlusal bends. Always, if you have a doubt regarding the adaptation, you can give small amounts of bends and then check for the adaptation of the Adam's clasp. Now cut the excess wires. Always hold the two segments with fingers so that the wire will not be flyed off. So now the Adam's clasp is ready with the bridge, arrowheads, and also the occlusal arms. Now after giving the occlusal bends, you have to give the palatal bends. So mark it on the palatal side. palatal bends, which are also called as the retentive arms. Before continuing with the adaptation of the retentive arms, we have to give the retentive tags. So to give a retentive tag, you have to take the universal plier, hold the edge with the plier and then rotate the plier so that it will make a circle, and then bring the plier to the initial point and then just tuck back the wire in this way so that it finishes the retentive tag. And another retentive tag is also given on the other retentive arm. So these are the retentive tags. Now place the Adam's clasp over the tooth, and then always while checking for the adaptation you have to engage the arrowheads in this place and hold the bridge in that 45-degree angulation and check for the adaptation. Now you can see the retentive arms are to be adapted properly. So continue with the adaptation process. Always make sure that your retentive arm will maintain a space of minimum 0.5 mm from the palatal surface. This space will help in incorporating the retentive arms into the acrylic. So now this is the Adam's clasp with the height which is equal to the junction between occlusal and middle third, and the mesiodistal width of the bridge which is equal to the intercuspal distance, and the arrowheads engaged in the proximal undercuts with the occlusal arms and the retentive arms which are ending as a retentive tags. And always the Adam's clasp should be maintain a snug fit with the tooth. So snug fit in the sense whenever you are trying to push the clasp, it should engage or disengage freely. So this is the demo of the Adam's clasp.